Test, test, microphone test. Test, test, test. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Test, test, test. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Test, test. Test, 1, 2. Test, 1, 2. Test. Microphone test, test, test. Microphone test. 7, 3, 7. 7, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 7. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 1, 1. Test 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Testing. Greg.
I thought Alan called you, or I told him to call you.
One on McGoffin.
Yeah. Unless split, but his dad is still involved in property.
Yeah, Tony, we're missing 2 people, but I think we have quorum, so. Well, let's give them 2 more minutes and then.
Well, we can formally call the commission to order, though, now that we have quorum, and as they walk in, we'll just record that they came in at a specific time. Okay?
Okay, let's go ahead and start then.
All right? So, as mentioned, we do have quorum for the May 29th, 2025 Building and Standards Commission. Can I get a motion to convene the meeting? Okay, thank you, Commissioners. The Building and Standards Commission meeting is convened at 12:34 p.m. on May 29th, 2025. Begin the commission. We have first the call to order. The call to order is the Building and Standards Commission of the City of El Paso is now in session. This commission is established in accordance with ordinances of the city to provide due process in cases involving allegations of violations of El Paso City Code 18.50, according to specific legal rules. Evidence may be presented to the commission for its consideration. Other parties interested in your case may also be heard at this time. Following this hearing, you will promptly be notified of the commission's decision. Moving on to item number 2, call to the public. This time is reserved for members of the public who would like to address the Building and Standards Commission on any items that are not on the Building and Standards Commission agenda and that are within the jurisdiction of the Building and Standards Commission. No action shall be taken on these items. Do we have anybody signed up, Ms. Norma? Yes. For something that's not on the? Okay, so those are for properties, but not for something that's not on the agenda? No. All right, thank you, ma'am. Mr. Chair, if you could administer the oath, please.
Yes, sir. Do you solemnly swear to affirm that any testimony you give before the commission will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
And could anybody that's going to be providing testimony please stand and raise the right hand?
I'll repeat it again.
Yes, please.
Do you all solemnly swear to affirm that the testimony you give before the commission will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Say yes. Yes. Thank you, sir.
That being said, we'll move on to item number 4 of the regular agenda. First item is a public hearing to determine if the property located at 419 East Schuster Avenue in the city of El Paso is a dangerous structure, and to determine if the owner will be ordered to demolish the property. The owner of this property is identified as MIG-EP Enterprises Limited Liability Corporation, a Texas limited liability company. Address is 2930 McGoffin Avenue, El Paso, Texas, 79901. And with that being said, I'll turn it over to the inspector for the presentation.
Yes, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen of the commission. I'll be presenting to you item number 4.1, 419 East Schuster. Chronology. It's a single-family dwelling, was built in on around the year 1910. The structure was constructed of brick with a total of 2,063 square feet of living area. The current investigation began on February 14th, 2025. The structure was found to have substantial structural dilapidation to the area's exterior interior, the structure is open to unwanted entry. However, as of May 22nd, the structure was partially secured. However, on the left side is still open to entry. There have been 2 property maintenance and zoning cases, 4 EPPD code enforcement cases since 2015. A certified notice of violation letter was mailed to owner MIG EP Enterprises LLC on February 24th, 2025. Certified notices of the public hearing scheduled for May 29th, 2025 of the Building and Standards meeting were mailed to the owner and all interested parties on May 12th, 2025. As of April 3rd, 2025, $0 in taxes are owed. As of the May 22nd, April 22nd, contact was made with the property owner. He did have interest in actually getting the structure demolished. However, he was not welcome to getting charged on the property. He was notified to come to the hearing today. And that's as it goes for today. We have an aerial photo of the property. As you can see, the building in question is Building 1. It is in contact with 3 points, one being the left side with the driveway. There is a carport in the back, and on the right side there is a second building. We're only focusing on Building 1 today. This is the front view of the structure. And the unwanted entry points to the building. As I said prior, the front has been secured. However, on the first picture to the left, that is on the left side of the building, it is still open to unwanted entry. Structural deficiencies of the interior. The building itself is in rough shape. It's in really bad shape. The ceiling itself is torn, multiple entries, and there's walls as well as the ceiling. They're all decayed. And as you see in the middle, there is a light coming from the top of the roof. It's continued. The exterior of the building. The roof is accessible to anyone around the property. You are able to walk on top of the actual roof, which does present a danger to the public in general. Of course, the roof itself is in bad condition. The shingles itself have been removed due to weather or wind. There are inadequate utility services to the building itself as well. We were unable to locate the electrical service for that building itself. However, Building 2 does have their own utility powering that building itself. The taxes, again, $0 are owed. As far as the department recommendations, that the structure is substandard and unfit for habitation or use and a hazard to the public health, safety, and welfare, and that the structure is not substantial compliance with the municipal ordinance regulating fire protection, structural integrity and disposal of refuse, and that the certificate of occupancy be revoked, and that the structure, and that the structure shall be demolished within 30 days from the date of this order, and that the structure be secured from the date of this order and maintained secured until demolished, and that the responsible party shall abide by all permitting requirements, and that the premises be clean of all weeds, trash, debris from the date of this order, and maintained clean thereafter until the structure is demolished. And that upon failure by the owner or any other interested party to comply with the order of the building, and that the Standard Commission, the city may take whatever action is necessary to bring the property into compliance, including demolition and placing a lien on the property for the work which will be caused to be done by the city. Do you have any questions, concerns, comments?
You all have questions? Yes, we do. Okay. There's one person signed up to speak on this facility? Yes, sir. Garzu, can you please come up and state your name for the record? And
Good afternoon, my name is Ivan Garza. Good afternoon, my name is Ivan Garza, and I own MIG EP Enterprises, as well as the property at 419 East Schuster. If I may? Yep. I was first contacted through certified mail, I believe on what was documented there in March, or actually it was in May this month. I did not receive any other notifications. I do receive my taxes, those bills, so I was a little confused as to how I did receive. I was told that I was notified prior to, but I only got the certified mail. Since then, I reached out to Border Structural Engineering, and I have a letter to present, if necessary. I'm not sure who to share that with. The property in question is garaging. It's not. It's never been meant for someone to sleep in. There's no electricity. There's no gas. There's no water. They're actually garages. And if you look at all of the properties that are along Schuster, they all have garages that are pretty much built the same way. They're built out of cement, and then they have lateral, I'm sorry, I'm at a loss for the terminology, but to hold the main walls. And what you see on top is a roof that's just been placed on top that I would like to repair. So my request is that I'm granted time to remove whatever's inside of the garages. I purchased the property back in 2010, and since then it's always been locked up. There was construction on Schuster a few months ago, and everything was just locked off. We even had trouble getting the garbage trucks in there to remove the weekly trash. So what I'm assuming happened there is that at that time when all of the construction was taking place on Schuster, somebody broke into the side. There was a picture there that was showed it's still not blocked. And then they just let themselves out through the doors. That's an assumption. But if I'm granted permission, I would like to go in there, clean everything out, secure the property, and then redo the roof. It's time to redo that part of the roof. But again, it's garaging. The intent's never been for anyone to live there. The doors have direct access to the street. I think that would be the immediate hazard.
now, are there any questions from the board? Okay.
So you have a structural letter from the engineer saying it's stable, it's not gonna fall on anybody?
Yes, sir.
Okay, for that. And then the roof, you're willing to fix it, repair it, and so the recommendation we have is to demolish it? That's the recommendation right now. So, That's all you need to know. Just wanted to-
Yes, sir.
Rudy?
So yes, I have a question, and it's probably for Tony and his staff.
Yes, sir.
If it's only repair of the roof, does he need to go for permit?
Yes, sir. I
He does
mean,
need-
in the
okay.
state that the roof's at, it's probably gonna have to be reframed.
Okay,
So we would need, of course, structural drawings for how it's gonna be reframed, permit obtained, all that good jazz. And of course, one of the things that, when you look at the street picture, and if you really look kind of at a bird's eye angle, the removal of the structure was a concern for us as staff, because when you look at it, that it is, the back wall is definitely a retaining wall, and we were concerned, and it's good that Mr. Garza, actually, I spoke with him yesterday, he mentioned the letter, that he brought in the letter because it does attest that if we start modifying that roof structure or that structure in general at all, it could potentially create collapse of that retaining wall. So it'd be better to rehabilitate it, secure it properly, rebuild what needs to be rebuilt. The interior does not have to be completely redone so long as everything's cleaned out from the interior of all combustible materials. It could be basically left as a dark shell.
Now, they can step up on the roof from the backside of that, right? So do they need to secure it so that there's a fence or something to keep people from walking over onto the roof?
Under current code, if it was a new build, we would require some sort of barrier at the front.
Right.
That's something that we can coordinate with the property owner. If one of the tenants does get onto the roof, the last thing anybody would want would be for the individual to fall. It is a substantial drop from the top of that roof, but that could be coordinated with the property owner.
It's just that they have easy access to it from the backside.
Yes, sir.
That's what the problem is.
So it's the 30-inch threshold. If any walkable surface is above 30 inches within 3 feet, it's supposed to have a guardrail. That's what would be applicable, not necessarily prohibiting access to the building where it's leveled, but providing a guardrail where you're higher than 30 inches.
And the other question that I have is, does that roof have any slope to it at all? It looks like it's pretty flat from the picture.
I'm not sure, but as the re-roofing is done, we would verify that it has the necessary slope.
So, okay.
Mhm.
It appears that maybe the pictures are a lot worse than what they here, but in regard to the roof, structural engineer just indicated that it's fine, just maintenance, clean it up, repair the roof, kind of what we just talked about, and everything else is good. Demolishing it, according to the letter, indicates that it would leave a void up against that retaining wall, as it's acting as a retaining wall, that would be detriment to the collapse. No, we have to reshore it or do so further, further like this. But what I'm hearing.
Excuse me, Commissioner, could you turn on your microphone?
Do I need to talk louder? No, no. So it's just repair the roof, structurals in place. I think that's what I'm hearing here. And you have to do what is necessary to get the roof replaced.
Correct, yes, sir.
That one shouldn't be a problem. Okay.
I'd like to make a recommendation that we amend the city recommendation and modify it to give him 90 days to rehabilitate or start the rehabilitation of the structure and allow him time to do the rehabilitation.
Second.
Agreed, sir. So could we then amend bullet point number 4 to read that the structure is rehabilitated within 90 days from the date of this order, that the structure be demolished should the structure not be rehabilitated within 90 days of this order?
Correct.
And at that point, the property owner would have to coordinate with our department, with a structural engineer, to identify whether, if it has to be demolished, how additional buttresses may be installed to maintain that structural stability.
Yes, sir.
You okay with that?
Yes, sir.
I second that motion.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so let's go ahead and get on with it. We've got a motion and a second. Who is in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion passes, so that's
Thank you.
the way it'll be rewritten for you?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
And real quick, on that roof, that also includes the mansards on the sides, right? You're gonna put new shingles and stuff on the sides?
Yes, of course, the complete rooftop. That's actually, as I mentioned, it's a garage, but it's
Right.
probably got a good foot and a half of drop from that
I'm
sidewalk.
talking about the slope sides. the
Correct.
shingles, Those mansards. they
Correct,
need
so
to be
we're gonna,
fixed too.
we'll remove all that
Okay,
and then look at dressing it up, making it look nice.
okay.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir, thank you.
All right, Commissioners, moving on to item number 2. Item number 2 is a public hearing to determine if the property located at 918 South St. Vrain in the city of El Paso is a dangerous structure, and to determine if the owner will be ordered to demolish the property. The property owner is identified as Rayner Properties Limited Liability Corporation at 706 Noble Street, El Paso, Texas, 79902. That being said, I'll pass it over to the inspector for the presentation.
Okay. And I'll be presenting item number 4.2, 918 South.
Sir, what's your name, sir? Mr. Inspector?
Inspector Viramontes.
Thank you.
So I'll be presenting item number 4.2. It's 918 South St. Vrain. Brief chronology. Single-family dwelling was built on or about the year 1910. The structure was constructed of brick and adobe with a total of 2,701 square feet of living area. The current investigation began on February 7th, 2025. The structure was found to have substantial structural dilapidation to the area's exterior and interior. The structure is currently open to unwanted entry. The structure is made of 2 separate living areas comprised of 2 floors. First floor was chained and locked by a padlock. We were unable to investigate the first floor. The second floor was inspected and evaluated. There have been 7 property maintenance and zoning cases, 16 EPPD code enforcement cases since 2011. A certified notice of violation letter was mailed to the owner, Rayner Props LLC, 706 Noble, El Paso, Texas, 79902, on February 24th, 2025. Certified notices of the public hearing scheduled for May 29th, 2025 of the Building and Standards meeting were mailed to the owner and all interested parties on May 12, 2025. As of April 3rd, 2025, $3,054.15 in taxes are owed. On February 12, 2025, contact was made with the property owner, Federico Ontiveros. He is currently working on rehabbing the property. The property is currently vacant. On April 2nd, 2025, upon follow-up inspection, a new door was replaced on the second floor that was previously open. Wire mesh was added and installed to the left side of the load-bearing wall. As well, as of May 28th, 2025, the fence is currently open to the property. We have an aerial view of the structure. As you can see, the property itself is abutting the next door property in 920. It is zoned as an A3, and it is close to a park. So front view of the structure. The unwanted entry routes. The second door or as the second picture, that's how we were able to gain entry to the property itself. There was no door, just a giant piece of plywood that was serving as a door. Structural deficiencies of the interior. The floor itself is in bad condition. We weren't comfortable walking around on the top floor. There is a hole, as you can see on the first picture, going straight from the second to the first floor, as well as the ceiling itself being torn apart. And there is work that was kind of going on there with temporary water lines for plumbing, as well as maybe a new mattress on the second floor. This is exposed wiring, as well as what looks like a bending beam, and a wall that was done in pretty rough shape. See the exterior deficiencies. As you can see on the left side, or the first picture, the back of the property itself is oddly made of aluminum as to compare to what it is to the front. The following pictures, you can see parts of the wall have started to come down, and you can see the adobe being exposed to the elements. Continues. The property itself does not have any guardrails or handrails for the second floor entrance. The stair thread measuring 8.75 inches and not meeting R311.7.5.2 of the IRC. Inadequate utility services. We were unable to locate the water meter as well. It may have been buried. As far as the electric meter, we were unable to see if there was any electricity running due to getting permission from the next door property to even look at the electric meter. We weren't granted permission to get on the property. Again, taxes as of April 3rd, $3,054.15 are still owed. Department recommendations that the structure is substandard, unfit for habitation or use, and a hazard to the public health, safety, and welfare, and that the structure is not in substantial compliance with the municipal ordinance regulating fire protection, structural integrity, and disposal of refuse, and that the certificate of occupancy be revoked, and that the rehabilitation be commenced with the issuance of permits within 90 days from the date of this order, including obtaining a new certificate of occupancy, or that the structure be demolished within 90 days from the date of this order, and that the responsible party shall abide by all permitting requirements, and that the structure be secured from the date of this order and maintained secured until rehabilitation or demolishment, and that the premises be cleaned of all weeds, trash, debris from the date of this order, and maintained clear thereafter until the structure rehabilitation has been completed and or structure demolished, and that upon failure by the owner or any interested party to comply with the order of the Building and Standards Commission, the city will demolish the structure after 90 days from the date of this order and may secure the structure from the date of this order or may take whatever action is necessary to bring the property into compliance and place a lien on the property for the work which will be caused by the city to be done. Any questions, comments, concerns?
Frederico signed up to speak on this. If you'd like to come up, you need to state your name for the record, and then,
I'm hard of hearing, sir, so you could speak
could you
up?
say your name for the
Yes, sir.
record, and then
Sure.
tell us what your plans are?
Sure. My name is Federico Ontiveros. I'm the owner, manager for Rainier Properties. I've been an investor or entrepreneur for the past 20, 30 years. I want to challenge what the city, whatever they put on there. I'm not in accordance with what they said. I'm not in accordance starting with the writ of entry, how they just broke in. They did get a writ of entry, but I never got communicated. Nobody talked to me. Nobody sent me no certified letters, nothing. I found out through a neighbor. Okay, and on the structure itself, I have been trying to call. Are you Mr. Viramontes, sir? I've been calling you every day. For some reason or another, your letters don't have your phone number. I think that's very bad. I try to call you. I cannot get in contact with you. I've left you thousands of messages, texts, and everything. Actually, somebody answered your phone line today. It was Mr. On somebody else. Well, anyways, there's no communication. The writ of entry was done incorrectly. Somebody needs to notify me. You just can't break into somebody's property. I imagine there's steps to follow. This property, the shell, it's blistered, the stucco. I did knock it down. I tried to get permits, but they told me already it was going to be demolished when I went to get the permit. I said, what about innocent before being guilty, man? Come on. They already had me down as being demolished here in the city hall. That doesn't sit well with me. I did get contractors. I'm having ready to move on. All the doors, windows, and everything has been sealed. Also, it does need to be refurbished and everything, but I think this guy went out of the way.
Well, you do understand the order as written is asking to give you 90 days to get a permit to start rehabilitation, not demolition until 90 days is passed. So you can start, I mean, if we approve this today, you have 90 days to start getting the rehabilitation started and the work constructed.
Yes, the contractor asked me to ask for 3 to 6 months to get it going.
Well, we can't give you 6 months. We can give you 90 days to get the permits and get that stuff started.
Okay?
As for the length of time for the actual construction, if it takes 6 months, well, as long as you're working on it, my understanding is that it's not going to get demolished. It just, you're going to have to get the permits and start working on it within 90 days.
Okay, and I still have not seen any structural damage. There is rubbish, trash, and I just got a hold of this property in March, April. I had to foreclose on the gentleman that I sold it to. He didn't pay the taxes, no insurance, so I just got a hold of it.
Anybody have questions for?
I have a couple of questions. It looks like the roof is not framed properly. That there's big areas where at the bare minimum, that stuff should be at 2 feet on center, but it looks like it's the whole width of a piece of plywood, which that's why, I think that's part of the reason that one beam looks like it collapsed.
Could you show me what are you looking at, sir?
Go to page 6 or page 7 and page 8.
The center one?
Yeah, if you look at,
Look at this, he's talking about,
Center picture. Go back.
Go back one.
go back one.
Another.
Go forward
There you
one.
can see it, but anyway, there was,
Page,
the joists
page 7 and then page 8.
The joists are what, I'm sorry?
are greater than 24 inches on center.
Yeah, that's existing, non-conforming. That's been, the house is built in 1910, like he mentioned. That's existing, non-conforming. not till it rained, because I know the roof is actually new. When I sold it to the guy, he put a roof. But as far as the joists and that, like I said, that's existing non-conforming, sir.
Sir, we can discuss that as far as the permitting goes. However, with a certificate of occupancy being revoked, the current codes would apply for the framing. The
Sure.
last thing we need is rafters being at basically 4 feet on center, having people there and having items
Sure.
collapse on them. So
Understand.
with your contractor working with our department, we'll make sure that any of the framing that needs to be adjusted is adjusted to meet minimum code requirements.
Sure. Okay.
Tony, I have a question.
Yes, sir.
So basically, back to what you're saying, typically, is he required, or as part of the permitting process to provide a sketch or a drawing to show layout,
Yes, sir.
spacing, anchors, all the
Yes.
things that are necessary for approval?
Correct.
So okay.
So basically, we'd
So
be-
basically, he has to go in, submit, and then whatever
And
it is that has.
on that, what we'd say, probably if he has time tomorrow, I would recommend bringing in the contractor and the property owner. That way we can explain all the requirements that are going to be needed to be submitted.
Perfect. And that seems to be pretty self-explanatory. You're okay with that, right?
With what?
Getting your contractor to do, or you do a drawing to submit
Yes,
for permit?
he's been here twice. He was here today, this morning, and actually they didn't let him again get the permit. They said it's already gonna be demolished. I said, hey, well, give me a chance to talk about it. Come
Right.
on.
Yeah, no.
I don't think that's right.
So I believe, sir, what he was told this morning or the previous days was that we couldn't move forward with the permit at this time because we were gonna be before the BSC today.
Okay.
That's why, not because there was order of demolition. Now, what I highly recommend is like Mr. De La Cruz mentioned, I'm gonna give you my contact information right now so that you and your contractor can reach out to me, and I can give you guidance on what steps need to be taken
Sure.
to get the building permit to rehabilitate the
Okay.
structure.
Yes, sir.
Okay?
Okay. Your name, sir? I didn't get your name.
Daniel Chavira, and I'll give you my information right now.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Danny, real quick, now, this property was sold and then repossessed, but you said he put a new roof on it. Did they get a permit on that roof when it was done?
Unsure, sir.
Okay,
Something that we'd have to check on.
because if they did, they didn't get it inspected.
Correct.
Yeah, okay.
And again, roofing doesn't necessarily address the structural stability
Right.
components. I mean, the commission already knows that. We're removing the old plies, installing new plies.
Well, I think the order that the city has written is pretty straightforward, and the owner's not opposed. Do I have any motions for approval?
I motion to approve the staff's recommendations.
90 days.
Yeah.
Yes.
I second.
Anybody, everybody approve or an agreement?
Yeah.
Hi.
Aye. Okay, we're all approve, it's unanimous. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Commissioners. We're moving on to item number 4.3. Public hearing to determine if the property located at 3126 Findlay Avenue in the city of El Paso is a dangerous structure, and to determine if the owner will be ordered to demolish the property. The owner of this property is identified as Antonio Lima Sr., with the address of 2526 Idalia Avenue, El Paso County, Texas, 79930-2024, and Margarita L. Esperanza at 5801 Snark Court, El Paso County, Texas, 79924, and Jaime Limas at 503 Spratt Circle, Del Rio, Valverde County, Texas, 78840-2725. That being said, I'll pass it over to the inspector.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. My name is Catherine Fuentes. I'm a property maintenance housing inspector, and I'll be presenting item number 4.3, which is 3126 Findlay. Chronology. The chronology of 3126 Finley. The single-family dwelling was built on or about the year 1916. The main structure was constructed of stucco-covered adobe brick walls and a wooden roof structure, with a total of 1,134 square feet of living area. The current investigation began on December 23rd, 2024. The structure was found to be open to unwanted entry and had substantial damage and dilapidation. The roof is deteriorated and emitting light into the interior. The ceiling is collapsing. The outside wall has collapsed. The structure is filled with combustible materials, trash, rubbish, and debris. A fire recently occurred on February 22nd, 2025. There has been 4 PD code enforcement cases, 1 fire investigation, and 4 property maintenance and zoning cases at the property since April of 2018. A certified notice of violation letter was mailed to owners Antonio Limas Sr., 2526 Idalia, El Paso, Texas 79930, Margarita L. Esparza, 5801 Shark, El Paso, Texas 79924, and Jaime Limas at 503 Spratt Circle, Del Rio, Texas 78840 on January 2nd, 2025. Certified notices of public hearings scheduled for May 29, 2025 of the Building and Standards meeting were mailed on to the owner and all interested parties on May 12, 2025. As of May 20th, 2025, $15,523.63 in taxes are owed. Contact has been made with Raimundo Limas, who states he is the son of Antonio Limas Sr., an owner of the property. No contact has been made with the property owners or any other interested parties. This is going to be the aerial view of the property. And this is the front view of the structure. These pictures show the collapsed wall and the main point of entry into the property. These pictures show interior structural deficiencies caused by the fire. As you can see, light is being emitted through the holes in the ceiling. These pictures show more of the interior and exterior structural deficiencies caused by the fire and the collapsed wall. These are the inadequate utility services. As of May 20th, 2025, $15,523.63 in taxes are owed. The department recommendations. The department recommends that the structure is substandard and unfit for habitation or use and a hazard to public health, safety, and welfare, and that the structure is not in substantial compliance with the municipal ordinance regulating fire protection, structural integrity, and the disposal of refuge, and that the certificate of occupancy be revoked, and that the structure shall be demolished within 30 days from the date of this order, and that the structure be secured from the date of this order and maintained secured until demolished, and that the responsible party shall abide by all permitting requirements, and that the premises be cleaned of all weeds, trash, debris within 30 days and maintained clear thereafter, and that upon failure by the owner or any interested party to comply with the order of the Building and Standards Commission, the city may take whatever action is necessary to bring the property into compliance, including demolition and placing a lien on the property for the work which will be caused to be done by the city. Questions, comments, concerns?
I noticed that there's two representatives for the owner, Raimundo and Israel. Are either of you all here?
Mr. Raimundo Limas is here.
Okay. Please come to the podium so you can speak.
My name is Raimundo Limas. I'm representing my dad who has passed away. And my uncle does not live in Del Rio, Texas. He lives in Abilene. And my aunt, she's kind of elderly. And I've tried to get it cleaned up and stuff, or demolish it. But when I went to the code compliance on Texas, they said I needed an authorization letter from my aunt or my uncle. I tried getting that. My uncle said that he sent it, but I never received it. I asked him to send it again, and he never did. My aunt, she says she won't do nothing unless she sees that letter. And I tried calling her yesterday, and she hung up on me. So I don't know if they want anything. They've told me that they want nothing to do with the property because of the taxes and everything owed and all the fines that, have been accumulating. So I'm just trying to see what would be best to still hold on to the property and what I could do in a manner of, I don't know how much time you would give me to talk with my brother, because I talked to him about it. He lives in San Antonio, and we do want to save the property for my dad's sake and my grandfather's. So I don't know what I need to do or how much time you're going to give me to do this.
Are you talking about rehabilitating the structure or just demolishing the structure and keeping the
I
property?
think it would be best just to demolish it and then start new. But like I said, I went to compliance and they said that I needed an authorization to be able to do this, and I haven't been able to get that.
Well,
I don't know how to do it, or if the city will allow me to do it without their consent or what, I don't know. And because we could never find the will for the property, and because my aunt tried to sell it before, and since there was no will, they had to get her, all my siblings, all my cousins and everybody, and it was really hard to do that. And the real estate agent that was working on it, he gave up because he couldn't get a hold of everybody to sign and everything. So I don't know what to do, or I guess I got to talk to a lawyer or something that would help me, but I don't know. I really don't know what to do.
Tony, you were going to say something?
Well, from the demolition permit, it is part of the municipal code that we need to have either proof of ownership or a letter from the owner granting authority to demolish. In this instance, apparently we do have 2 living owners of the property, so long as we had something in writing from one of those 2 owners, we could issue the demolition permit. The other complication is demolition homeowner permits are only issued to your actual homestead. So even though Mr. Silva is a relative of a property owner, because it's not his homestead, he would need a contractor to obtain that permit. Okay, so it does complicate matters a little bit, but I think, kind of like what Mr. Silva said, if your aunt has something in writing, depending on the commission's order and recommendation today, we would definitely provide something in writing. What would be good is if we can get their current addresses. The addresses that we obtain are based off central appraisal. We do a title search on those, and those are the addresses that we sent out notices to. So we can definitely provide that letter, and that way, if your uncle provides you with a letter saying that they're authorizing the demolition, then at that point you would need to obtain a contractor to move forward, but we would be able to issue the permit in that manner.
So I wouldn't be able to demo it myself?
No, sir, because it's not your homestead, it would require a contractor to get the permit.
Even if I got the authorization letter?
Correct.
So from this point, where do we go?
From the legal issues, unfortunately, we cannot advise you on that. Like you mentioned, I would recommend coordinating with an attorney. There's too many hands in the cookie jar for this one property. So I would definitely consult with a real estate attorney that might be able to guide you on that. Probate. Probate attorney. Correction from Ms. Vinier. So I would definitely recommend reaching out to one of them. But in the meantime, once the commission renders an order, because the property is in really bad shape. As you heard, we have had a number of complaints that we've had to respond to on this property. So my best recommendation is once you obtain the order, and if you'd like, we can provide you a copy of that order once it's signed by the chair, myself, and Ms. Vineyard. That way you have a copy to provide to your relatives as well.
Okay.
But then after that, the probate attorney would be the best assistance for all the legal encumbrances on it.
Okay, I'll look into that, and I should receive that letter by when?
Once we get it signed, within 10 days.
Okay, will it be delivered to my?
If you provide us your address, we can send it to you.
Okay, yeah.
Yes. So right now with the typically, right now, it's taking us about 15 to 20 days to process the entirety of the order. So after that, you will be getting it, but provide us your address, your phone number, we'll reach out to you.
Okay, I'll do that.
Yes, sir.
So if I could make a recommendation that we change the 30 days to 90 days to try to get as much as possible done.
That is entirely up to the commission. I mean, ours is a recommendation. However, if you are granting 90 days, what I would recommend is the immediate securing of the property. I mean, it's in really bad shape. We don't need more people going in there setting fires.
And because of the shape of the structure, how realistic is it to be boarded and secured?
Correct.
Right.
Define immediate.
It would be upon signature of, well, we have to grant them 30 days from the date the order signed. So it could be secure the property within 30 days of the order and 90 days if the commission chooses for demolition.
Okay. Can you secure it in 30 days?
That opening on the wall?
Yeah, so there's people not going in and out and
Yeah, I could do that in 30
you
days. I
secure the
believe.
place, so
Just
30 days and then, okay.
Tony, one quick question.
Yes, sir.
How did the outstanding taxes factor into getting a permit?
The outstanding taxes won't affect getting a permit. However, one thing that we probably will need to look at is whether or not there's any types of tax suits from the city.
Okay.
I mean, again, that is for the property owners, doesn't affect the issuance of our permits. But if there's a tax suit ongoing, the property in instances could go for a sheriff's tax sale
Okay.
because of the outstanding property taxes owed.
Okay.
And Daniel, you said something about the building not being feasible to board and secure?
It is possible, seeing one of the photographs, yeah, even using the existing, what's remaining of the wall to secure it could pose a hazard. But if they're able to do it, then
The one photo where the wall collapsed, the only thing holding it up is the two blocks for the windows that are still standing there.
Yeah.
The rest of it is gone. Yeah.
The inspector, Nathan Walsh, the inspector advised that there's no tax suits currently pending.
So first, we have a motion to extend it from 30 days to 90 days. May I ask who's in favor of that? Say aye.
Do we have to get a second first?
Oh, yeah.
Can I correct that? So the motion would be 30 days to secure the property and 90 days to demolish.
That's correct. That's
I believe
correct.
that's the motion.
Yes, sir.
That's correct.
So I motion to accept the amended recommendation. Okay. All in favor?
Say aye if you're in
Aye.
favor.
Aye.
Aye.
It passes.
All right, sir, so let's coordinate. We'll have Danny provide you with his contact info. But basically, as soon as you can get to securing this property, that's the best thing to do right now, just to prevent anybody from going back in there, setting another fire. And then coordinate, once we have the letters ready, we'll reach out to you. Please provide staff the information for where we can reach out to you, and the new addresses for your relatives that are showing us property owners,
Okay, I'll do
please.
that. Alrighty then, thank
All
you.
right. Gracias, Mr. Silva.
You all have a good one.
Thank you, Commissioners. Moving on to item number 5, consent agenda, approval of the minutes from the April 17th, 2025 meeting.
Motion to approve.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And for the highly anticipated one, item number 6, adjournment. Can I get a
Who
motion to
gives a
adjourn?
motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Who seconds?
second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
The meeting of the Building and Standards Commission meeting is adjourned at 1:27 p.m. Thursday, May 29th, 2025. Commissioners, thank you for your attendance.